Celtic beat Aberdeen for the third time in 10 days to keep their 5-point lead at the top of the SPL. Rangers maintain their pursuit with 2 games in hand after getting the better of Hearts at Ibrox. Hibs get their first goal of 2011 and beating St Mirren ends a run of 12 matches without a win. Life after Connor Salmon begins for Kilmarnock with the defeat of Fir Park. And 18 with a double, teenager Stevie May scores his first SPL goals for St Johnstone. Before all that, let's catch up with the 3 SPL matches played at the weekend. 1 goal was enough for Hearts to bounce back from a heavy defeat at Celtic Park and beat St Johnstone at Tynecastle. Rudy Scatchell's 8th goal of the season. This was Connor Salmon's last goal for Kilmarnock, his 18th of the campaign, before signing for Wigan. The opener against Hamilton at New Douglas Park. Killie played for more than an hour with 10 men, and manager Miksu Patalainen went ballistic after Jamie Hamill was sent off for this second yellow card. And relegation threatened Accies equalised 12 minutes from time. Substitute Mikael Curie made it 1-1. Under pressure, Hibs made it 5 straight defeats, losing to Dundee United at Tannadice. John Daly scored the opener. It's been an injury-interrupted season for winger Craig Conway, so he was delighted to blast home his first goal since his Scottish Cup-winning double. United haven't lost since mid-November, and this win was sealed by Johnny Russell, 3-0. These were the midweek matches in the Clydesdale Bank Premier League, the third meeting of Aberdeen and Celtic inside 10 days. St Johnstone against Hamilton, it was Hibs St Mirren, Inverness against Dundee United was postponed, Motherwell versus Kilmarnock, and Rangers against Hearts. League leaders Celtic have beaten Aberdeen in 3 of their last 4 games to stretch their unbeaten run in all competitions to an impressive 14.
Possibilities for Celtic. Right at the outset, Scott Brown making his way through.
Penalty.
It had to be a penalty.
Yeah.
And it is.
There. Just there. Now, once there's no advantage gained, there's none, and a penalty for the trip as well, second time. But he's given it for this little tug here. Just there. Little tug back, and then just for good measure, there's a trip as well. Brilliant play.
And a red card to make matters worse. Jamie Langfield waits. And Stokes! What a save by Langfield!
Well, he just guesses the right way. I mean, sometimes for keepers, it's just luck. But he does brilliantly. Absolutely brilliant. It's not a great penalty, but it never is when the keeper goes the correct way most of the time.
There was a very early red card for Andrew Considine. So he conceded a penalty. Scott Brown going down inside the box, but Jamie Langfield saving the spot kick taken by Anthony Stokes. And Celtic right through here. It had to be the opening goal, and it is. And Gary Hooper finds himself inside the Aberdeen penalty area, and he doesn't miss from there.
He had to be a goal. Brilliant link-up play again between Stokes and Hooper, the 2 strikers, the 2 guys that look as if they're on the same wavelength. They've formed a partnership when both fit. They've scored goals, and Hooper, make no bones about it, he scored goals in England, albeit in the lower league, but he's a poacher, he's a goal scorer, he's composed, and he's a finisher.
And Stokes isn't a clean header, real scramble here. Well, it perhaps should have been.
You know, I think if he just dinks himself a goal because it can only be a couple of yards out. Just here, 2 yards he has. Great challenge from young Milsom, absolutely fantastic.
Stokes. Juarez. There's Beram Kayal. Oh, so unfortunate. Off the inside of the post. Kayal looking up to the heavens.
Well, a wry grin there from the manager, but absolutely superb strike.
Waiting in the centre. Here is Milsom and Vernon. Forces a fine stop from Forster. Diamond shot. And Hartley. And it fizzles out. But Aberdeen are coming into this game.
Yeah, there's a couple of good blocks here. Nobody picking up Vernon round the back post then. A block here is Scott Brown. Just turns his back, keeps his arms down.
Maguire. Was appealing, but the decision has gone against him, and a display of dissent from Paul Hartley.
He must book him here. Well, he is. Now, he was a yard from this. Now, why would he be so upset? Well, he's claiming there's there's certainly hit the arm there of Chris Commons.
Now then, how about that for a pass? And it's got to be 2-0 now, it's off the post. Unbelievable, Chris Commons getting on the end of that exquisite pass by Paddy McCourt, just seconds after coming on.
Well, the first couple of pieces of this jigsaw were absolutely sensational. The run and the pass. The third piece, well, it was just as good. A couple of little touches, loads of composure there, and well, I think he's just rushed that a little bit, Chris Commons, because the is gaping.
Stokes, and big appeal here. Well, Hooper was certainly convinced. Alan Muir's having none of it.
This ball from Stokes is as good as the McCourt one a minute or so ago. Now, the referee's blind side, you can see him there. It's the linesman who'll have to look at it. It certainly hits his arm.
So Commons gets into position. Grew one of the targets for Chris Commons. Yeah! Well, that might make absolutely sure. Mark Wilson, of all people. Well, that is something of a collector's item. Mark Wilson's first goal for Celtic.
Well, it just runs across Paul Hartley here, comes from a little bit deeper. Well, he's playing as a centre-half tonight, Mark Wilson, but he's hardly a towering centre-half, is he? But he makes the most of it.
Inside the area, Stokes there too! It's 3! And Anthony Stokes atones for his failure earlier to score from the spot. And Celtic now know full well that they'll be 8 points clear at the end of business.
Well, the player brought in, Neil Lennon, seemed to be just doing the business for him. The likes of Stokes, Hooper, Commons at the moment. Kayal, all these guys just looking to start to come good at very important times of the season, and again it's a superb finish.